Monday night women's fast pitch softball on Long Island from Bill Edwards Stadium. The Florida Vibe take on the New York Rise on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And we welcome you into the broadcast booth. She's Sydney Suplee. I'm John Perez. Sydney, it's been a long time in the making. There is professional softball here on Long Island and a picture-perfect day for some history.
This is a day that will go down forever. The crowd's excited. We got to talk with the players on both sides. They are ready to make a statement here in New York and bring professional softball across the country.
Yeah, so the New York Rise, an independent team. They're one of 4 teams in this independent league. And Sydney, I know that this is just step one. Now, Rome wasn't built in a day. But when it comes to the New York Rise, this is something that Jeff Arnn and the rest of the executive committee have been waiting for years to come. And even though this is only the first game, there's been a lot that's been done for New York so far.
And I talked to Jeff months ago when this was all a dream, and the team that it has took, there is handfuls of people that has made today possible. So it's a shout out to them and all the players really coming together to start making softball really raise it to the map and the levels that people want to see it at.
All right, so there's a lot of pomp and circumstance. Let's meet the New York Rise and a couple of our impact players that we're going to watch today. There's a ton of talent throughout the Power 5 conferences and even mid-majors. But the 2 players that we're going to spotlight today have been socking the ball for the New York Rise. It's been Ashley Trierweiler and Alex Honnold.
These are 2 incredible athletes, specifically at the plate. They have done damage. You could see right there within their average and their power numbers. What I love about these 2 hitters in particular is they hit for average, they hit for power, but they also are a threat with their speed on the base pass.
Yeah, when it comes to Honnold, she's from Mizzou, one of 3 Mizzou Tigers on this New York Rise team. Trierweiler from a Grand Canyon, one of 2 Grand Canyon softball players as well, as they're led by Rodney McCray. And let's meet their starting 9 out there now, as he's known as Crash, and we'll say why during the broadcast. And there he is crashing into the dugout. Trierweiler will lead things off. Jenna Laird out at shortstop with Honnold in the 3-hole. McKenna Smith's behind the plate. Lenny Malkin is the DP batting 5th. Sammy Williams in the hot corner with Riley Blampede over at second base. Nicole Mendez in left field, and Sydney McCray out in right field, as the New York Rise, winners of the City Scenic Cup, look to capture their first home victory in franchise history. So that's New York. Let's meet the Florida Vibe, and the vibes are high. We met with Florida before the game as well, and 2 of our impact players that we're going to keep an eye on today. For Florida, it's Alana Vaughter and Carmen Greenwood.
There isn't a better storyline than Alana Vaughter right now. You're going to see her in the DP position, but in her very first at-bat, she had her first hit, and it was a home run. What a way to start off your professional career. And then Cameron Greenwood is somebody who made their name be heard on the college scene, put up incredible numbers for 4 years, and now she's bringing it over to the pro leagues.
Yeah, she's been incredible, hitting .519 through the first 10 games, and we'll say why the Vibe have 10 games to their ledger and New York only 4, as the 2 teams exchanging lineups. Let's meet the starting 9 led by Mike Scott, the assistant coach for the Florida Vibe, as it is Greenwood to lead things off. Cara Canetto out in left field. Allie Newland behind the plate. Sierra Frazier at third base. Michaela Paprada is behind the plate. Madison Kennedy's at first base. Katie Kistler's out in right field with Alana Vaughter. Last minute switch into the lineup. She bats 8th, and Grayson Radcliffe is the shortstop rounding out the lineup. It is the Vibe. It is the Rise. We will have the opening day ceremony when we come back on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why bother with the wide angle that shows every player on the field? You just want good video of your son or daughter, and now with Varsity Media's ISO angle, you can get it. Our camera will focus just on your player in the game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. And it makes for a great teaching tool to help them improve during the season. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050. Welcome you back to Bill Edwards Stadium. We send it over to our public address announcer, Peter Schwartz, for the introduction of both teams.
Number 8, Hannah Adams. Number 17, Taylor Pleasant. Number 22, Elizabeth Hightower. And number 24, Jordan Johnson. Now the starting lineup for Florida. Leading off in center field, number 7, Carmen Greenwood. Batting second, in left field, number 23, Tara Canetto. Batting third, at second base, number 44, Allie Newland. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 20, Sierra Frazier. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 27, Michaela Pabrata. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 18, Madison Kennedy. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 29, Katie Tischler. And batting ninth, the designated player, number 15, Elena Potter. And the shortstop, number 26, Rachel Ratcliffe. Starting pitcher for Florida is number 21, Caitlin Arnold. The head coach for the Vibes is Leah Amico, assisted by Mike Scott. And now, for the first time ever, let's meet your New York Rise. First, going third, number 6, Kayla Weddle. Number 8, Mariah Lopez. Number 19, Ryan Henry. Number 20, Sarah Cornell. Number 24, Lauren Green. Number 29, Denise Kelsey. And number 33, Mary Jacopo. And number 42, Courtney White. Now the starting lineup for the Rise. Leading off and playing first base, number 50, Ashley Spurweller. The shortstop, number 3, Jenna Laird. The center fielder, number 25, Alex Hunnell. The catcher, number 21, Michaela Smith. The designated player, number 22, Liddy Malkin. The third baseman, number 7, Sammy Williams. The second baseman, number 26, Riley Lampy. The left fielder, number 11, Nicole Mendez. And the right fielder, number 99, Susan McRae. Introducing the Rise head coach, Chris McRae. Coach McRae is assisted by Tony Marie Valeriano. Umpiring tonight's game. At first base, Mario Calavini. At third base, Jill Bennett. And behind the plate is Alex Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you're able. Please remain standing and remove your hats to honor America and those who protect our freedom with the singing of the national anthem performed tonight by Long Island's very own April Jimenez Hancock from Medford, New York.
Here on Long Island, and boy, what a great atmosphere here as well. And, you know, Cindy, we could talk about the players and their stories and everything that they've accomplished in their collegiate careers, and we'll definitely get to that. But just how about the atmosphere? And what's really cool around here is you're seeing a lot of local softball teams wear their own apparel, which is pretty cool to see and attracting a local audience.
The part that gives me chills is watching the young girls in attendance today. They're looking at these women saying, I could play professional softball someday. And that hasn't always been the narrative, and we're starting to build it. There's a rise of women's sports across so many sports, and right now is softball's time to start shining. We see the growth on the collegiate side, and we are trying to bring it to the professional side, and it takes everybody.
Yeah, no, 100%, as the New York Rise are certainly rising to the occasion. That'll be the only punt today as well, but doing a good job so far, selling out what seems like Bill Edwards Stadium, which is really cool here, and you just take a look into the huddle for a little bit of history as the New York Rise get ready to play their first home game in franchise history. The City Scenic Cup champions, and now looking to bring that winning style back up north, and this is a team that's very deep and has had some pretty accomplished players, most notably a lot of SEC players. And Sydney, you've obviously had a pulse on the softball world, the Women's College World Series, a ton of experience on both sides.
When you look at the rosters, if you're a college softball fan, you're going to recognize these last names. I'm talking All-Americans, All-SEC, all Big 12, some of the very best players to play the college game, and they're still competing at the highest level, and they've also continued to grow within their own game. You look at Ford on the mound, and one of the best pitchers to ever comes out of James Madison University, and she's been playing over in Japan the last 6 months before coming here, so somebody who is constantly working on her craft and at the very best of her game.
Yeah, and there you see Jalen Ford from James Madison University, and boy, she's been incredible, like you mentioned, playing over in Japan throughout the year, and has not been the best start so far, but hey, you can't blame her. She just came stateside a week before the season began and now acclimating to the American game. We had an opportunity to speak to one of her managers in college and close friends, Kim Fucci. She gave us the whole scouting report and said that Jalen Ford is a beast, to say the least.
65 to 67 miles an hour. You're going to see her rise be her bread and butter, work up in the zone, but she also will mix in her curve and her screwball. And as you mentioned, she's playing in Japan the last 6 months. They play the game a little bit differently, but nonetheless, she's such a competitor. And you expect to see her continue to grow the longer she's in this league.
First pitch of the ball game is in there for a strike as Carmen Greenwood steps up to the plate. The outfielder from Birmingham, Alabama. Played at Louisville, one of the players that we spotlighted in the Open, hitting .519 on the season. And the count 1-1.
When you look at her average, that speaks volumes. But then you look at, she's leading the team in doubles right now. Right around half of her hits are all for extra bases, so somebody's bringing a lot of power.
Taps it right back to the mound. Ford snags it and completes the play. Route number 1. Defensively for the New York Rise, as Jalen Ford on the mound taking care of it. Let's meet the rest of the defense. As it'll be left to right in the outfield, Nicole Mendez, Alex Hanold, along with Sydney McCray. Sammy Williams at third, Jenna Laird at short, Riley Lampede at second, Ashley Cherweiler is at first, McKenna Smith behind the plate, and Ford on the mound. And the first pitch breaking ball low to Cara Caneto, 1-0.
And one of the reasons why the New York Rise has been so successful so far this season is their defense has been very consistent.
Caneto out of Sylvania, Georgia. Sprays it down the left field line, giving chase as Mendez. It lands fair, and this will be an extra base hit. As Cara Caneto pulls in a second with a two-bagger in the first hit of the day for the Vibe.
And that's one of those hits that lands perfectly about an inch off the line, has the bounce because it was a little bit of an inside-out swing, sprayed at a weird part, and Mendez wasn't able to get to it because it took off a different angle off the fence. So now she's standing on second base.
And so that'll bring up Allie Newland from LSU. Another lefty in this lineup, and a ton of SEC players on both sides. And of course, Newland, one of those top players as well, hitting .304 in the early part of the season. No home runs, 10 RBIs. The Vibe have played 10 games, and because they are part of an independent team, they can do that. Played Team Mexico for 3 games. We were talking to their starting pitcher as well on the other side, and Kaya Arnold. And Kaylin was telling us about that's just been great, how it's been, you're not going against the same 4 teams, you're getting exposure out there, and the players are loving it.
And that's why they wanted to stay independent.
Runs it right back to the mound. Ford, her only play is to first, and a successful sacrifice as Caneto goes over to third, 2 away.
And for a lot of people who are tuning into professional softball, you have Athletes Unlimited, you have this league, you have independent teams. It can all feel a bit confusing, but what you're starting to see these independent teams is they want to allow themselves to play in this league, but to also take those opportunities to play the national teams as well.
So this will bring up Sierra Frazier out of UAB. As Ford paints the inner edge, 0-1.
One thing you will notice about Frazier is she keeps an open stance. Now, this allows her to almost have more time on her back leg and really put power into her swing.
Reigning Conference USA Player of the Year takes high. It's 1-1. As Frazier, all-time RBI leader in UAB history. 187 runs driven in. You're going to win a lot of ball games when you get that production.
It's exactly the person you want at the plate with a runner on third base. And you can see Ford is being very selective in terms of where she's throwing her. When she's going in, she's making sure she's painting it on the inner half of the plate.
Cara Caneto stands at third base. She had a 1-out double. The pitch. Wave and a miss. She struck her out as Ford goes to that riser to strike out Frazier for her first K of the day. Top of the first inning, Florida 0. The New York Rise coming to bat on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050. Crowd liking what they're seeing in the first inning, and they're getting ready for the New York Rise in their first at-bats at home as well. And like we mentioned, great atmosphere here at Bill Edwards Stadium, and even see the mascot as well. Double play is in the background, and you can see the fans have packed out the stadium. No better place to be to start off your July. And then you see some softball players as well really enjoying it, and it's been great, Sydney.
This is what the sport is all about. These moments, again, credit to the New York Rise. They're really building something special here. They wanted to make sure that these women coming off of top collegiate programs don't feel like they're taking a step down, but rather a step up when they come into this professional league.
Well, here is Kaylin Arnold out of Maryville, Tennessee, played for the Lady Volunteers as well as Florida State, and she gets the start for the Vibe today and looking to lock down the Rise. And we caught up with Arnold before the game, and she has been all gung-ho on this lineup, and she's ready to go today.
She mentioned that the second this team got together, they just clicked. You can see that with the smile on her face right there. She loves the people she is playing alongside, and when you have that, special things happen on the field.
So it'll be Ashley Cherweller to lead things off for the New York Rise out of Belmont, California, playing for parts of her career at Grand Canyon and Santa Clara. And takes outside 1-0. Cherweller hitting .467 on the year, a home run, 4 RBIs. National Fast Pitch Coaches Association All-West Region second team.
She has been doing this forever, not only in the professional league, but we started it for 4 years in collegiate softball. It was only her junior season that she didn't hit above 400. She hit .394, still not very bad, but she averaged in her 4 years a .440 average, and she's carried that over effortlessly as she's taken a step up to the pro ball.
Yeah, it certainly helped, especially for Grand Canyon, one of a handful of teams that won north of 50 games this year, a regional appearance. There's a wave and a miss, count 2-1.
Arnold's the type of pitcher, she's going to work you a lot east to west. You're going to have to really be disciplined on those corners and when it's going to break off the plate rather than stay on it.
And Arnold just misses outside. Count 3-1. Arnold started her career at Tennessee, transferred to Florida State, 3-time All-Conference selection, 2017 SEC Freshman of the Year. It was all ACC second team selection in a redshirt senior year in 2021. Good hitters count for Cherweller. 3-2.
And right now for Arnold, when she needs a strike, she is going to that third base side of the plate. You can tell that's her comfort zone right now. Hasn't been able to establish that side of the plate yet on the first base side. So if I'm a hitter, I'm putting my toes on the chalk and trying to take away that outer half pitch.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. She struck her out. A little fastball by her. 1 up, 1 down to begin the evening for Arnold.
It's a great piece of pitching by Arnold to come all the way back against a very hot batter. And I'm not surprised to see her get the start today. She had a very effective last outing. She went a little over 3 innings, only gave up 4 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and no runs scored.
Here's one of the hometown favorites, Jenna Laird, out of East Meadow. Takes a strike, 0-1. Laird played her college career at Missouri, 3-time All-SEC second team selection.
You can hear the crowd having a little bit of a different roar with her up to bat.
She's one of 2 Long Islanders on the roster as she waves through an 0-1 fastball, and of course her, and looking down the lineup as well, it was Sarah Cornell, who played for Hofstra and then at Alabama. She went to Clark High School and grew up in Westbury. Here's the 0-2, check swing, and she goes around, foul tipped into the glove of Michaela Paprata, and 2 straight Ks to begin the day. Let's see the starting lineup for the Vibe, as Florida, led by interim coach, or not interim, but assistant coach Mike Scott today with Leah Amico coaching Team Israel. It's Caneto, Greenwood, Kistler, along with Kennedy, Newland, Radcliffe, Frazier, Paprata behind the plate, and Arnold on the mound. And here's Alex Honnold, one of those players that we featured in the open, fisted foul, 0-1.
We talked to the team before the game about Mike Scott stepping in to fulfill the shoes of a head coach. The players were excited. They had so many great things to say about him. They called him their dad. They called him an angel on earth. I mean, the list goes on and on of the momentum and the love that he brings for this team.
Yeah, that was Emily Kirby who donned him the angel on earth, and they didn't even hesitate. She said right away, yeah, he's an angel, and some of the things that he did as well. He treated the team to a New York Mets game yesterday as the Vibe traveled up early, got to experience the city. They're going to Times Square tomorrow. And when you've got the 7 o'clock starts, you can do that and spend the day in the city.
And that's why New York is such a great market to have a professional softball team, because not only are you playing great softball in front of a wonderful crowd, but there's so much about the city that these teams can go and enjoy.
Here's Alex Honnold from Mizzou. 438 on the season. Behind in the count, 1-2. And slaps it foul down the left field line. Honnold, 229 career games at Mizzou, hit .331 and broke the single-season doubles record with 21 doubles in a season. All-SEC second-teamer in 2023. Back-to-back strikeouts to begin the bottom half of the first inning by Arnold. Here's the 1-2. And a good rip and fouled back to the screen. We'll do it again.
Arnold looking to go back up in the zone with the rise ball. What she did to finish off the second batter, that one you could tell she didn't get it quite high enough as she wanted to. You see a few practice pitches after that, but her ball is moving, and it's that late break that's allowing her to be so effective.
1-2 again upstairs. And Deuce is wild.
And for the Rise, going up against a very spinny pitcher, somebody who is going to move the ball late. You notice a lot of them are back of the box. They're trying to see the pitch as long as they can.
2-2 coming. A little foul, first base side. And Honnold, not an easy player to strike out, was behind in the count, works it even, and is spoiling every pitch that Arnold's throwing.
Especially when it's the first changeup we have seen so far today from Arnold, to be able to stay disciplined and just foul it off, fight to see another pitch.
She gets the sign. Here comes a 2-2 in the dirt, and the count's run full. McKenna Smith from Cal Berkeley would be next. As Arnold just trying to end it here. 3-2. Check swing foul.
And there are a lot of Rise players who are expanding the zone on the third base side. That just shows how much Arnold's ball is moving, that you have them swinging at a ball off the plate consistently.
This might be the first time we saw Arnold shake off Paprata. Comes home with a 3-2. Upstairs, ball 4. Professional at bat by Honnold, who is down 0-2, works the walk, and that brings up McKenna Smith.
You could see after the pitch, Arnold's giving a little look to her catcher, knowing she was the one that shook her off. But as a pitcher, it's so important that you are throwing the pitch you are most confident in. If there's ever a hesitation or a moment of doubt, you rather shake it off, because it's when you throw that pitch that you weren't 100% all in on is when you get beat.
This brings up the cleanup hitter, McKenna Smith. Smith, two-time NFCA third-team All-American, first-team All-Pac-12 member in 2022. Good plate discipline. Grew up in Murrieta, California. 333 through her first 4 games. And there's a strike from Smith, 1-1.
One of the parts of Smith's game that I've always enjoyed watching her play and who she is as a hitter, you see a lot of movement within her hands. She keeps herself nice and loose in the box and allows her to be so adjustable and to hit so many different pitches.
Smith, like Ford, also playing professionally in Japan, cranks this to deep left field. Forget it. That ball is pulverized. A 2-run home run for McKenna Smith. And the Rise take a 2-0 lead in the first.
McKenna Smith, put your name in the record books. The first home run on this field here in Hofstra in front of an electric crowd. That is something that the New York Rise will always remember. She was tied with having 2 home runs, but now after this swing, pulling it to left field, she leads the way with 3 home runs on this New York Rise lineup.
Double play, enjoying the action, and a 2-0 lead for the Rise as this brings up Linny Malkin.
This is where walks will come back to haunt you. If you look at that, Arnold had 2 outs. She had a 1-2 count, goes all the way to a walk, and then the next batter up, a line shot, and it's 2-0 just like that.
And I know that Arnold has a rubber arm out there, but you're right. You think for a few times, at least for Arnold, that she's got Arnold on the ropes. Not necessarily looking for the strikeout, but just getting the out. And like you said, puts her on base, and then Smith takes her deep.
And Arnold's working with a lot of pitches that are spinning up in the zone right now. And what you really saw is that home run pitch just didn't get all the way quite inside like what has been effective for her so far. She also faced a lot of lefties, so going up against a righty, it's a lot different to throw tight in on her hands. That pitch.
What a play by Michaela Paparata to slide and make the catch, and the inning is over. We'll talk more about that when we get back, Sydney, but a 2-run home run by McKenna Smith gives the Rise a 2-0 lead. We go to the second on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. Top of the second inning, a 2-0 lead for the New York Rise. And New York Rise fans, I'd like to acknowledge our good friends to the New York Rise and thank our sponsors, New Balance, Wilson, Azure Transportation, Fitzen's Clam Bar of Long Island, Eric Cole Salon, Polsky Sports and Entertainment, Print Station, Catcher Matrix, and Lululemon. Appreciate all that you do to support pro women's softball team in New York. Rise up. 2-run home run by McKenna Smith gives the Rise a 2-0 lead. As now Jalen Ford with a little bit of run support, dealing a 5-6-7 due up in the order, and gets Michaela Paparata to swing and miss at a first pitch low changeup, 0-1.
What a response for Ford, and going to the changeup on the first pitch. You know the other team is going to be chomping at the bit, wanting to have that big hit and to tie it back up.
Paparata jammed, center of the diamond. Riley Blampield, one away.
Ford, who worked so predominantly up in the zone in the first inning, you're already starting to see her really show off her downward movement as well. So huge when you're facing a lineup for an entire series to just show so many different looks of you across the course of 3 days.
Of course, this will be a 3-game set right here, and then the Rise will play 6 games in 7 days in a homestand that comes back right here at Bill Edwards Stadium. That's starting on the 15th of July. Hit out to center, and Alex Honnold is there. And 2 quick outs for Ford. And that second homestand being from the 15th to the 21st.
And while that ended up being an out, Madison Kennedy with the best at-bat we have seen against Ford so far today does a great job just keeping your hands inside the ball, sending it right back out where it was pitched.
So here's Katie Kistler, the right fielder. And takes a belt high strike, 0-1. Kistler from Orange Park, Florida. Went to the University of Florida, the former Gator. Hit .282 in her senior season. Takes down and in, 1-1.
And as a hitter going up against Ford, it's a little bit of a different type of motion. You see her not do a complete full arm circle that's nice and long. It's a bit shorter, which comes a little bit quicker on the batter and allows pitches like the changeup to feel even more deceptible.
Ford in cruise control in the second inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a 2-0 lead. The pitch. Just inside home plate umpire Alex Lee says not that time, and the count's even at 2-2.
I love the emotion by Ford. She is living and dying every single pitch right now.
Comes home with a 2-2. Tapped on the ground to second, charged by Blampede, and she records 2 outs in the inning. And that does it. A 1-2-3 inning for Ford, 1.5 in the books. 2-0 Rise on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's premier high school sports network. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Don't miss any of the Flaming Hot Rise softball action. Tickets for all remaining home games are on sale now at www.thenewyorkrise.com. And there you see the schedule as well. After this series, Oklahoma City and Florida on the road. But you want to come down to Bill Edwards Stadium from July 15th over to the 21st. Every game with the exception of the 21st being at 7 p.m. and then an afternoon game on the 21st before the teams compete in the Championship Cup Tournament at Frost Stadium in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
That's why it is so important with this matchup, because it's all a chess match. You're going to see these teams over and over throughout the course of the entire season. You want to throw in a lot of different arms, a lot of different looks, and continuing to grow your game plan against each other.
And what's really cool is, so the Rise are coming off the City Scenic Cup Championship. That was when they knocked off Oklahoma City 9-1. And, you know, a little bit of bragging rights, some hardware. You get a little validation early on, but at the end of the day, they're all competitors out there, and you know that the Champion Cup tournament is something that they've got circled on their calendars.
But for the Rise to come out and get that early championship as a new team up against a very experienced and veteran Oklahoma City Spark, that is huge, specifically because a lot of those players just wrapped up winning the national championship at Oklahoma.
Yeah, and the Spark knocking off the Rise in late innings, a 5-4 victory on June 19th as Sammy Williams floats it out to shallow right. Coming on is Kistler, going out is Hannah Adams, who hauls it in. One away.
A great adjustment by Arnold, who was working so well against the lefties on the third base side of the plate. You saw her give up a home run, not feeling comfortable enough to bring it inside tight on a righty, but that time she does it perfectly executed the next time out.
So here's Riley Blampede, the second baseman. Takes a pitch outside the corner, 0-1. Blampede from South Carolina hit .273 with the Gamecocks from Cordell, Georgia. A little low, 1-1.
For so many of these players, they're coming off an incredibly intense college season where they were playing 50 to 60 games right into more games. So they've definitely had to be very creative in finding ways to still recover while also stay at their prime level shape.
And I'm kind of curious, Sydney. I know you were a pitcher over at Northwestern, but I'm curious as a position player too, especially in the pro level. You'll see in college, it's not uncommon. You've got back-to-back doubleheaders, so 4 games in 2 days. At least in this league, it's 1 game a day. So does that change preparation? What are the pros and cons there?
It absolutely does, because you go from thinking I might have to last 14 innings if you're a position player. A pitcher is normally not going to throw those back-to-back. However, now you can really utilize the same players once every day because your body can take 7 innings, rest all throughout the morning and day, stretch, and go compete again that night. So every time you see these teams playing, they're putting their best stuff out day in and day out.
It's good, especially if you've got depth as well, and that's going to help you regardless. And, you know, with all of these players, it's really interesting because even the bench players can start on many other teams that are out there. And, of course, the hope is always to grow more professional teams out there and disperse that talent throughout and grow it in the United States. We saw how huge it is in Japan and, of course, other leagues down in the South, and now trying to come up to the Northeast and capture some markets as well.
As I was telling you, I just came from the international games where
Blampede pops it up. Paparata drops it. It's a fair ball. And Blampede is on with the E2.
that is an extremely difficult play for a catcher to have to pop up out of her stance, turn around, and try to look up and make a basket catch. Those are one of those opportunities where if you're a corner, I would even call them over my pitcher to take away that fly ball from your catcher.
This will bring up Nicole Mendez, the left fielder, hitting in the 8-hole. Mendez, a stellar career at Oklahoma, leading the Sooners to the Women's College World Series championships in 2017 and 2021. Takes outside. What a run for the Sooners, huh?
What they are doing in terms of just consistency every single year, being able to deliver those championships, it is something you cannot overlook. The excellence and the attention to all the little details. That magic doesn't happen overnight, and it's a lot of those hard work ethics are still very instilled in Nicole Mendez, something she talks about, having that championship mindset all the time.
You know, Mendez finished second in program history, 15 triples, 10th all-time in stolen bases with 46, playing on the Mexican national team in the Tokyo Olympics in 2021.
You see right there, she has a ton of speed. Thought for a second she was going to try to lay down a bunt, caught third base back a little bit. It goes down to that chess match again. Now you're going to have the corners throughout the rest of the series knowing that she has the capability to put down that bunt when she wants to.
A lot of speed at the bottom of the orders. This is ripped into right center field, a base hit, and Mendez has her first hit of the day. Blampede goes first to third as the throw gets cut off, and on at first with a single is Nicole Mendez, and the Rise have runners on the corners with one out.
Blampede with great heads-up base running. She knew from the second this ball was sent up the middle, she turned without even looking. She was going all the way. It's a great job taking an extra base.
So now the players will meet at the circle, and we'll see what New York does here. You've got Mendez, who obviously 46 stolen bases in her college career, has some good wheels. I'll have you put your coach's hat on, Sydney.
What I would say right now, you have a 9-hole hitter who has a ton of speed. So if you're going to have her steal, then I would almost have her set up where the person at the plate is going to either show a fake bunt or do a pullback. Anything to allow there to be a little bit of movement and so that the catcher is not just making the catch and able to fire down to second base.
See what the Signal is from Coach McCray to his daughter, Sydney McCray, from Bradenton, Florida. Started her career at Florida Southwestern before moving over to Grand Canyon. Second team NJCAA All-American. Second team All-Southern Conference selection. And the count 1-0.
You have the corners crashing, specifically on the third base side.
1-0 pitch. Mendez runs. The throw is not made as Mendez steals the bag.
That's exactly the type of situation you need to have. Look like you're going to lay down a bunt, pull back at the last second just to cause movement within the corners and the middle infield, so that allows Mendez to have enough time to get the steal.
Now the right side of the infield comes in. Third baseman Sierra Frazier playing in as well. Foul tipped into the glove of Paprata. Count 2-1.
Arnold still living on that bread and butter, delivering it on the third base side of the plate.
Two runs in the first for the Rise, looking to add on here. Pitch misses, 3-1.
For the Rise, what an opportunity to extend your lead in your first ever game at home here in Hofstra. You feel the crowd behind you already, just to be able to feed into that momentum.
A good hitter's count for McCray. The pitch. Check swing. Strike called, 3-2.
There's a level of comfortability you see from Arnold when she is facing a lefty rather than a righty.
3-2, swing and a miss. Struck her out, third strikeout for Arnold, and there's two away. And I want to expand upon that point a little bit. So what are you noticing when the lefty's up at the plate versus a righty? Because now you've got the lefty and Trueweiler as we look at the strikeout.
Arnold is able to tail this pitch, screwball, rise ball, the late break, and really feel comfortable if it misses half a ball outside of the plate, because she's getting those lefties to chase, where rather when you have a righty at the plate, you're worried about hitting them. So you feel much more comfortable throwing to that tunnel, and she has been so effective with it so far.
Well, she got Trueweiler to strike out in her first at-bat. In fact, she struck out the first two hitters of the ballgame. Blampede at third, Mendez at second. A 2-0 lead for the Rise, last half of the second. Pitch, 0-2.
If Arnold was able to get out of this without allowing any runs scored, this is a huge win for this squad and being able to just get momentum for Florida when they come back up to the plate.
0-2 to Arnold, hits off the glove of Paprata. Coming home is Blampede. She scores without a throw, 3-0 Rise.
That's a tough break for Arnold. You have the countdown, 0-2. Try to work a rise ball up in the zone. Do too much by thinking you have to miss overly high and allow a free base to score.
So Arnold, like last inning, a strike away from getting out of it, and then gives up a run. And now the count is even at 2-2. Should be an unearned run on Arnold, considering that Blampede reached on the error by the catcher Paprata, and then you've got the wild pitch. Mendez over to third, 2-2, wave and a miss. And down goes Trueweiler. 4 strikeouts for Arnold, but the Rise put another run on the board. A 3-0 lead going to the third on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why bother with the wide angle that shows every player on the field? You just want good video of your son or daughter, and now with Varsity Media's ISO angle, you can get it. Our camera will focus just on your player in the game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. And it makes for a great teaching tool to help them improve during the season. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Jalen Ford with a 3-0 lead as the New York Rise adding another run in the second inning. She's Sydney Suplee. I'm John Perez, and what a fun day of softball it is here at Bill Edwards Stadium, the first ever home game in New York Rise history. 3-0 lead over the Florida Vibe, who after this series will continue their slate. They'll go against Chattanooga at home and back-to-back series against Chattanooga. Check that 3 in a row, and then finishing against the New York Rise on the July 12th to 14th 3-game stretch. Their home games playing at the State College of Florida in Bradenton, Florida.
And looking at the schedule, not bad places to be playing softball in this summer. I mean, talking about beautiful days at the ballpark.
There's Alana Vaughter, a last-second addition to the lineup, and someone that I know you're very excited to see in action. Grew up in Kansas City, played at South Carolina, and a heck of a player.
And the damage she did in college ball from Stanford all the way to South Carolina. What I love about this is she doesn't get opportunities all the time to hit. She's a dominant ace on the mound for teams. They put her in, and it's her very first ever professional at-bat. She hits a home run. I mean, talk about a way to show, hey, I can hit too.
94 wins in 5 seasons at Stanford and South Carolina, and of course anchored one of the most dominant pitching staffs in the nation with the Cardinal. How about this? The best strikeout to walk ratio, 5.41, and ranking third in ERA with a 1.52. And then swings it foul. And count 1 and 2.
And that is somebody who you're going to be excited to see when she does get her opportunity to step on the mound this series. When you talk about her numbers, what makes her so effective, it's her ability to get the leadoff out and also her first pitch strikes. Those numbers are just completely insane, and that's what allows her so much success in the strikeout to walk category.
Jalen Ford misses low. It's 2 and 2. Ford has faced one over the minimum, allowed a double to Cara Canetto back in the top of the first inning. Since then, has retired the ensuing 5 batters and make it 6. Her second strikeout of the evening.
Ford doing a great job just really changing up what her finishing pitch is. So on the first inning, she worked up in the zone. Second inning, did a little bit more off speed, but now she is going to that screwball that just has that late break.
And it just stays away from the barrel, too. So even if you are making contact, you're not hitting it a long way.
You're going to hit it off the end of the bat. It's going to be a dribbler down the first base line.
Grayson Radcliffe takes a strike. Radcliffe from Rockville, Virginia, played at Marshall in Indiana. And Ford dotting 2 strikes to begin the at-bat.
We mentioned earlier how she had to travel right from Japan. She played that very weekend in the Scenic City Cup. It's very hard to get comfortable with a new team. You've been playing with the same group of women for the last 6 months. You're starting to see her come into her own this very game.
Ford gets ready with a 1-2. That's driven to center field and down for a base hit. Second hit of the day for the Vibe as Radcliffe parks it at first with a 1-out single.
Radcliffe does a great job sending a screwball that doesn't have that same sharp break. Sends it right back up the middle. You could see Smith right away telling Ford, you're good, and then just pointing to her a little bit more on off the plate that next time.
And so now second time through the order as McKenna Smith goes out to talk to Ford, and probably to get on the same page signal-wise, or does it change the at-bat second time through the order, or approach, I mean?
Your catcher knows you best, and if there's a situation where she maybe thinks, if I could give Ford this one little tidbit, maybe she's falling off her power line, needs to do something mechanically that she feels like is going to make a big difference and allow it to click.
Pitch inside, 1-0. Greenwood 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out to Ford in her only at-bat. And count even at 1-1.
And Greenwood is the type of player that it's very hard to beat her twice. She does a great job at just going back into her dugout, making adjustment at bat to at bat.
Bunts it, good backspin, barehanded by Trierweiler, throws to first in time. As Trierweiler gets Greenwood by a stride. 2 away, and that'll allow Radcliffe to go to second.
It's a very athletic play. A last-second bunt. You'll see Trierweiler come all the way, wait on her heels, has to throw across her body, still has the arm strength to get her out.
So runner in scoring position, and the first pitch fastball stays inside, 1-0.
Ford asking the umpire where she missed. He says inside. She's not been able to get that call for a strike so far yet today.
Radcliffe with good speed off of second, inside outed. Fisted foul, 1-1.
That's where the speed of Ford can be very deadly against these hitters. When she works them inside, if you're not on time, you're going to see those jam shots over and over again until they can hit the ball out in front of the plate.
1-1. Fouled right towards us and into the booth.
You almost got your hand on it.
Almost. Chris Sweeney blocked me. That's why we pay him to protect us.
We were looking for a souvenir for the first game.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second. A 3-0 lead for the Rise. Ford with 2 strikeouts through her first 2 1/3. And sprayed foul again.
Right now, the Florida Vibe, they're a team that's hitting nearly 400 with runners in scoring position. Really have found that ability to level up and put together quality at bats when it matters most.
Especially for Caneto. Now 6 extra base hits on the season. She came into today hitting .250 on the year. Dribbles it right back to the mound. Ford scoops it and underhands to first. And the inning is over. So they strand a runner at second. And we go to the bottom of the third. A 3-0 lead for the Rise on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050.
Welcome you back to Bill Edwards Stadium, a 3-0 lead for the New York Rise. And of course, Varsity Media is excited for our new partnership with Gipper, the #1 social media content creation platform for all athletic programs and professional programs. Visit Gipper.com to learn more today. She's Sydney Suplee. I'm John Perez as we go to the bottom of the third inning, and Kaylin Arnold giving up 2 runs in the first, 1 run in the third. Both of those innings, she was a pitch away from getting out of it unscathed, but the Rise putting together good at-bats and creating traffic on the base paths. Home run helps in there as well, and that's the reason why they're up 3-0.
And while Arnold's gave up that frustrating wild pitch run in the second, I saw a lot of adjustments by her that's allowing her to be very effective. Take away the scoreboard, she is still developing a ton of swings and misses, and if she can just finish those at-bats and those counts, she'll be incredibly effective.
There's Jenna Laird, the local product. Takes a strike, 0-1. Laird struck out swinging in her first at-bat. As Arnold now with 2+ innings has allowed just 2 hits. 3 runs, only 2 of them earned. With 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. Slide into left center field, chasing Greenwood back. She lines it up, makes the catch. 1 out.
I really liked the poised by Laird and that, and just doing a great job of keeping her body very silent, getting on top of Arnold's rise ball. Now she still just hit it a little bit underneath, and if you want to be effective against a rise ball, you have to look to hit it middle or top of the ball before it has that leg break against you.
Well, here's Alex Honnold, and can make a case that she's had the at-bat of the game so far for the Rise. Walked in her first at-bat, was behind in the count 0-2, spoiled off pitches, and worked a 10-pitch walk that then set up a 2-run home run by McKenna Smith.
And you know, as a pitcher, Arnold remembers that, and she's going to be going right after and attacking the zone.
Arnold laces it down the right field line. That's a base hit, and a roll all the way to the wall. Dug out by Kistler, and Alex Honnold is on at second with a 2-bagger. Second extra base hit of the day for the Rise. And New York with the runner in scoring position for McKenna Smith.
An off-speed pitch that just was too far up in the zone. Honnold capitalized on it before it even had an opportunity to really break. Once again, she's putting herself on the base pass for her teammates behind her to come up in a clutch situation.
For Honnold, that's her 4th extra base hit of the season as McKenna Smith takes high 1-0.
When you're a pitcher who throws predominantly up in the zone, we're seeing Arnold spin the ball up a ton. That causes your weight to be back. Now, why that matters is when you go to your off speed, you have to overemphasize getting on your front leg.
1-1. McKenna Smith smacking her 3rd home run of the season. A no doubter to left center field. Towards a crowded out area of the fans over there, and now Arnold ahead 1-2.
Arnold so far living on the outside. Not something you're seeing her do often today. It's going to that first base side of the plate, but not trying to give Smith anything in her wheelhouse on the inner half of the zone that she capitalized on earlier this game.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch lifted foul right side and into the parking lot. I hope you parked behind somebody's car.
I parked on the other side.
There you go. Veteran move.
I've been to one too many ballparks and seen broken glass after broken glass. And I might have been guilty for it a time or two as well.
1-2 coming. She lays off. It's 2-2. McKenna Smith, like we mentioned in the last at-bat, playing professionally in Japan for the Vipers and the JDL Shining Vega. Teammate Ford playing for Team Honda as well. 2-2. In the dirt, 3-2. Runner goes, and there is no throw. Honnold takes 3rd, and now a full count to Smith.
Arnold is beat on a changeup that never makes it down in the zone, so this time when she goes back to it, she tries to overemphasize but buries it in the dirt, allowing for a little bit of a bobble and another stolen base.
Payoff pitch, outside, ball 4. So second walk issued by Arnold, and now the Rise with runners on the corners and 1 out for Lenny Malkin.
Number 22, Ryan Malkin. Number 22.
Now if you're in the Rise, you're in a similar situation. However, this time it is a righty up to bat. But do you try to send the runner from first in a 1st and 3rd situation with only 1 out?
A good rip at a first pitch fastball as Malkin gets a piece of it. 0-1.
You can sense a very aggressive approach by Malkin so far. The only batter who's really up in the zone, almost willing Arnold to throw it in the zone because she is hacking up there.
To your point earlier, the Rise with only 9 stolen bases as a team, but Smith doesn't have any of them, and she gets going on the ball that pops out of the glove of Paparata, so wasn't intending to steal, saw the ball trickle away, and she takes 2nd. And now a couple of runners in scoring position for the Rise.
I think she heard you. I think she was ready to add one to her resume after that. And for Smith now, this changes. You have a runner on 2nd and 3rd. How can you send it either deep enough to left field or really work the right side of the field? Anything to advance the runners.
See how Mike Scott plays his infield, especially with the middle infielders playing back. Corners, well, at least Kennedy was even with the bag. Third baseman Frazier playing behind the base. 2-1, 2-2. A little surprised you don't see the infield in?
A bit surprised, but I feel as though with a runner on second base, it's a different situation. You're trying to get the runner out on third, but really trying to capitalize that the runner behind is not going to advance.
Tipped off the glove of Paprata.
And also these arms on these athletes in the infield, they could still field a ground ball from their position and go home, and it could be a very tight bang-bang play, go either way.
Two balls, two strikes, one out. Here's the pitch. One lifted to deep left field, chasing back Caneto at the warning track, makes the catch. Tagging at third is Honnold. She comes in to score. It's a sacrifice fly for Linny Malkin, and the Rise go up 4-0.
The Rise continues to take advantage when there is a righty at the plate and a Rise ball inside that doesn't quite get all the way in on the inner half of the plate. They're capitalized on swinging it well, and that's at the warning track, giving plenty of time for the runner at third to score.
Smith stays at second, and Sammy Williams takes a strike, 0-1. Williams popped out to the second baseman, Allie Newland, her first time up, 0-1. Williams, there you see, from the Midwest, went to Iowa State. And sprays it foul, the three-time All-Big 12 first-team selection.
The biggest thing I notice about this lineup that the Rise has is the confidence each and every one of them step into the box with. That's something that's not built overnight. That comes from months of preparation.
Wave and a miss, struck her out, and the inning is over. Now 5 Ks for Kaylin Arnold, but she concedes another run. Through 3, 4-0 New York Rise in the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's premier high school sports network. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Start of the fourth inning, a 4-0 lead for the New York Rise, and the wave is abound here midway through this contest, and Jalen Ford has been exceptional so far, just allowing the 2 hits, striking out 2. And she has dotted the corner, she's gone up, she's gone down, fast, slow, she's the complete package.
She absolutely is. And talk about this sold-out crowd. I mean, that is just the highlight. These athletes are playing on the field, feeling so much momentum from the crowd around them. Something they experience at their college side, but to be able to experience it at their professional side, too, is something that they look forward to. When you have a player like Ford who feels the need to go overseas for 6 months out of the year, she gets a great level of competition and training over in Japan. But you know that they hope that they could bring that type of level and competition here in the States as well.
Vibe with some action in the bullpen. That's Elizabeth Hightower, the Florida Gator. All-SEC second-team selection. As Allie Newland takes a strike. 0-1. Newland sacrificed bunt her first time up, but Ford was able to strand Cara Caneto at third. 3 shutout innings so far for Ford. Count 1-1.
And where Ford is very susceptible against left-handed hitters is you can see after she gets done planting, she almost hopped through her left. And now if you're a lefty, that can feel very intimidating, like she's coming at you.
Sliced in the left field. It's a base hit. Newland picks up her first hit of the day. And third against Ford, a leadoff single in the fourth.
Newland not trying to do too much. It's a ball that's on the inner half of the plate. She was jammed, but still keeps her hand inside to be able to spray it the opposite way. And that's what you have to do against a player like Ford who has high-level speed, working in the mid to up 60s.
So here's Sierra Frazier. She was supposed to start the game behind the plate. Last-second additions with Hannah Adams coming out of the starting lineup. So the whole lineup gets jumbled around, but Frazier struck out swinging her first time up. Frazier out of UAB. UAB going 23 and 29 this year, losing to East Carolina in the AAC tournament. And now behind in the count, 0-2.
But Frazier is working her way to be on time. If you're Ford, she's getting closer and closer. You're going to have to go to something different, whether a different speed or a different location.
She tries to go a little bit lower, snap throw to first, and Newland gets back safely.
A heads-up play because Newland was kind of taking her time getting back to the base. You always have to make sure you are getting back as quickly as you are going out.
Ford ahead in the count, 1-2. This is lined up the middle and through for a base hit and back-to-back singles to greet Jalen Ford in the fourth inning. And now Florida with something cooking. And that'll bring up the number 5 hitter, Michaela Paparotto.
Smith is going to call another timeout to have a chat with Ford, who has had 2 very well-hit balls, line drive off of her. When Ford was being very effective, she was going to her off-speed more, and granted, even when it wasn't a strike, it was setting up those harder pitches that were catching the hitters off balance, and she's went away from that, so now you're starting to see the hitters be on time for her hard pitches.
Smith goes out there, calms everyone down in the infield, getting on the same page, and I'm always curious with those circle visits. Is it more just trying to calm down the pitcher? Is it defensive alignment? I mean, is it just a mixture? What is it?
Most of the time it's talking to your pitcher. The defense is reminding her that they have your back. The catcher is putting together a game plan and how you're going to attack this pitcher.
There's Michaela Paparotto, shows bunt, pulls back, 1-0. Paparotto, 2 stops in college, Miami of Ohio, and then LSU. Pulls back the bunt. Counts 2-0. Ford thought she had a strike.
Paparotto had a little bit of a tougher tournament at the Scenic City Cup. Not surprised to see her trying to bunt here. Sometimes as a hitter, it's just getting that one thing to go right for you before you gain that confidence back in the box.
Came into today hitting .316 on the year. No home runs, 4 RBIs. Good scoring opportunity, and now 3 straight out of the zone by Ford.
Ford clearly upset, asked the umpire if it was low, seems a bit shocked by his response and saying yes. And let me tell you, as a pitcher, sometimes when you know somebody's going to bunt, it's the hardest pitch to throw for whatever reason.
Well, taking all the way, and that's right down Broadway, 3-1.
Now if you're Paparotto, it's a 3-1 count. You've been showing bunt, but this is the opportunity to go back in a hitter's count and utilize your power.
See if they keep the bunt on. They do. 3-1, bunted right back to the mound. Scherweiler's up with it, fires to first. A successful sacrifice, 3-4, as Newland goes to third and Frazier up to second. And there's 1 out for Madison Kennedy.
Doing your job, whether it's the little things or the big things, they all count the same in the end.
Well, Kennedy 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field, but she hit the ball on the nose her first time up. You have to wonder if that's what Mike Scott is thinking about with Kennedy at the dish. Which is a fastball grazed the outside corner, 0-1.
And Ford is feeding you that opportunity by throwing the ball on the first base side of the plate. Not to do too much, but just hit it on the nose like you said and send it in the other direction of their runners.
That's high, count even at 1-1.
See Kennedy trying to remind herself to stay in her legs.
Good off-speed pitch as it drops in there, 1-2.
That has to be the deadliest one we've seen so far today. Falls off the shelf, keeps it at the same level of what her drop ball is working at.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Ford with a couple of shakeoffs, and then time is called. That's so tough as a pitcher, too, because she can't break her hands either.
Absolutely. So you have to come in there and be very decisive in terms of what you're going to do and allow your catcher or somebody else to take the time when needed.
1-2, swing and a miss. She goes down swinging.
One of the best sequences Ford has had yet today. You thought you started to see her lose a bit of control, but then she comes back and throws another screwball. And with where the catcher set up, you wonder if it was supposed to go there, but either way it worked.
Katie Kistler takes outside 1-0. Kistler ground out to second her first time up. This inning started with back-to-back singles by Allie Newland and Sierra Frazier. A sack bunt and a strikeout. And a huge swing and a miss. Second time that Kistler tried to put it into the next counting. She doesn't get cheated up there.
It's the off-seed pitch. It's so deceptive because it's coming in at the very same tunnel as that drop ball. The arm motion's the same and the level's the same.
1-1 coming. 1-2. Good off-speed pitch.
Ford is finding her groove, and this is starting to be one of her longest outings, and she's continuing to find a way to get herself better every time.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. It's low, 2-2.
Very effortless, but an important job by Smith on that play, not allowing for any funny business to happen.
Two. Rolled on the ground to first. Trierweiler picks it up in foul territory, just by a hair. Huge sigh of relief by Kistler and the rest of that Vibe dugout.
That is one of those that Trierweiler tried to crash and get it before it broke, and it was a very close play. An inch one way or an inch the other way could have changed that play.
2-2 to Kistler. Up and in. Counts full. Alana Vaughter would be next. Vaughter would represent the tying run. Have to get through Kistler. Here's the payoff pitch. Just got a piece of it. And we'll do it again.
Ford and Smith giving Blue just a little extra second on that foul ball. But these are the at-bats and the moments that you have to absolutely love when you're a player. When the game's on the line, you have an opportunity to break it open, give your team that momentum and that spark that they need.
Ford peering in at the sign, gets what she wants. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Upstairs, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Good at bat by Kistler. She was behind in the count 0-2, works the walk, and the bases are loaded for Alana Vaughter.
Ford went to an off speed on that one, which I loved the call personally, but you could tell it just did not come out of her hand right. If you're Ford, how can you take a deep breath, reset, and then go attack Vaughter? Doesn't have that many at-bats, but has enough power in her at-bat to do damage.
Yeah, she represents the tying run and takes a strike 0-1. She struck out swinging in her first at-bat. Vaughter from Kansas City, Missouri, went to South Carolina. Already a home run this year. Second home run would tie the game. Pitch, wave and a miss, 0-2.
The pitch that Vaughter is chasing on is that screwball that you're seeing Ford just run off the plate. Vaughter either needs to get more on that plate or lay off the outside pitch.
No balls, 2 strikes, a 4-0 lead for the Rise, and that pitch just misses. 1-2.
It's a good, tough, in-at-bat adjustment by Vaughter.
One-two coming. Got her! Blew a fastball by her, and Jalen Ford leaves him loaded. 4-0 Rise, halfway home on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why bother with the wide angle that shows every player on the field? You just want good video of your son or daughter, and now with Varsity Media's ISO angle, you can get it. Our camera will focus just on your player in the game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. And it makes for a great teaching tool to help them improve during the season. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome you back. Bottom of the fourth inning, a 4-0 lead for the New York Rise, and Jalen Ford rearing back, got the bases loaded with 2 outs and a much-needed strikeout. Sydney Suplee.
That screwball is exactly where she wanted to go. She has been living there all day and has gotten it against Vaughter multiple times. The spark that she needed to keep the momentum on the New York Rise's side.
Well, Vaughter struck out. Now she goes to the circle as Vaughter, like we mentioned, one of the top pitchers in the country and not a bad option out of the bullpen.
When you are a hitting pitcher, which I speak from experience, there is nothing better than being able to kind of make up for what happened on the other side. And you know Vaughter has just this extra level of oomph and power going behind every pitch now, feeling like she didn't get the job done at the plate, but now she can bring the spark to her team on the mound. They haven't had a single clean inning against the New York Rise yet. Why could it not be right now?
No, you're right. She comes in for Kaylin Arnold, who went 3 innings, allowed 4 runs on 3 hits. 3 of those 4 runs were earned, 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. She will deal to 7, 8, 9 in the Rise order. Riley Blampede, who reached on an error and came around to score her first time up. Takes a pitch outside, 1-0.
Well, Vaughter has the same amount of speed as Arnold. You're going to see the ball coming in at a little bit of a harder pace. Something, if you're the hitters of New York Rise, you have to start your loads earlier. You're going to see them more in the back of the box, knowing that Vaughter throws easily a good handful, 4 to 5 miles an hour faster than Arnold.
That pitch is whizzing in there, 2-1.
What Vaughter is so good is that drop ball, having that late heavy break.
Wave and a miss, 2-2, and when she can change up the speeds, she's lethal.
And Blampede taking a little extra second on that one, trying to reset herself. It goes back to the tunneling of the drop ball and the change.
Poke down the right field line, foul. Kind of stays at 2-2.
If you're a Rise hitter, you know Vaughter is working predominantly down in the zone. How can you stand your legs and really get your barrel down there, whether it's a drop ball or it's a changeup?
South Carolina against South Carolina. Of course, Stanford has a say in that, as that's popped to the right side. Hangs up for Newland, 1 away.
After going on the outer half, all of the at-bat, Vaughter comes back inside, is able to just get right in on the hands. But the person who did a great job not letting the inside pitch get in her hands in her last at-bat was Nicole Mendez.
Yeah, I think Nicole Mendez, probably one of the best hitters in the lineup, talent-wise and raw talent-wise. A great prospect, and of course, not the best start to her pro career, but you know that there's a lot of power in there, but just a 5-tool player.
She's also somebody who has been around the sport so much. She broadcasted all throughout the college softball season, and when you're just watching the game, you see it in a very different light. You become more educated and excited for when it's your opportunity to step on the field.
Yeah, Mendez picked up her first hit of the season in her last at-bat, stole second and was stranded at third. Behind in the count 0-2, and that misses, 1-2.
The thing about Mendez is she is really a multiple tool athlete. You saw her run her feet through the box on a slap, try to lay down a bunter. She thought about it, actually. She didn't get quite attempt it, but then she also has a ton of power.
Mendez, like we mentioned, second in Sooner history with 15 triples. That's not going to be a triple as it's rolled on the ground to second. Newland makes the play again, 2 up, 2 down to begin the fourth.
And because of Votter's speed, you tend to see hitters speed themselves up, really trying to go out and get it. That one caught Mendez on her front leg, didn't have enough power behind it, and rolled it over.
It'll bring up Sydney McCray. And takes all the way, nothing in 1. McCray struck out swinging her first time up, 0 for 1. If you've been following the team on social media, McCray with a big catch that took social media by storm out in right field, crashing into the wall. And she's a fun player to watch and a good athlete as well.
From her speed and also willingness to put her body on the line for her team.
On the ground, left side, off the glove of Radcliffe and into left field. And McCray's going to take another base. And McCray is on. We'll see how they score it, but either way, a runner in scoring position for the Rise.
That is why you always run out every single play. I'm sure when McCray hit it, she's thinking it's another ground ball to the shortstop, but a backhand play that just pops up wildly allows her to use her speed and come all the way around to second base.
So officially an E6, and now McCray's on at second. There's Trierweiler. Bunts the first pitch foul, 0-1.
And due to Vaughter being so heavy on her changeup and her drop ball, you're going to start to see a lot more spall ball, only because her speed, but also it's a lot easier to bunt balls that are down in the zone and drop ball spin rather than a rise ball where you have to try to get your hands on top and not pop it up.
Rise have had runners in scoring position all 4 innings. And you bring in a pitcher like Vaughter just trying to keep it a 4-0 game.
And those are huge moments because you're just continuing to put pressure on the defense every single time. It can feel suffocating, like they can never catch a break.
It just misses. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 4-0 lead for the Rise. A pitch, carved her up. Strike 3, first strikeout for Vaughter as she strands McCray at second. 4 in the books. A 4-0 lead for the New York Rise on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Left on base.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050.
Welcome you back to Hofstra, and it is the former Pride pitcher, Sarah Cornell, coming on in relief. And we were talking to her before the game. She said it's a surreal feeling to have professional softball so close to home. She said, I live a few blocks away from here and now making her New York Rise home debut.
What a special moment, not only for her, but her high school coach is in attendance, her parents are in attendance, and all her family and friends. A true homecoming. You have to love when the game comes so full circle.
Sarah Cornell, the New York State Gatorade Player of the Year in 2016 out of Clark High School, was the CAA Pitcher of the Year in 2018, transferred to Alabama, and was the 2019 SEC Player of the Year, and inducted into the New York Softball Hall of Fame in 2022. So not every day you get to see a Hall of Famer still in her active career, and it'll be a treat for the home crowd here watching one of their own take the circle.
What makes it an even more neat story is we chatted with her, and she works for the New York Mets grounds crew. She started doing that full-time, wasn't really playing softball, saw on Instagram that New York was bringing a professional softball team, sent them an email, and then days later had a tryout and has been training ever since.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things here, too, and trying to drum up some local talent. And, of course, like you were talking about earlier, so many young softball players here, probably around elementary school age. Now they get to see in person what their dreams could be as well, and hope to be future Rise members as well.
And I know for myself, when I wrote down, everyone in third grade, what career do you want to be when you grow up? I said a professional softball player. At times there was all those giggles and laughs, but now there is actual women that these young girls can see it and then believe it.
9-1-2 due up for the Florida Vibe as Grayson Radcliffe sprays it foul 1-1. Well, Cornell comes in for fellow Long Islander Jalen Ford, Ford is from James Madison, the other Long Islanders Jenna Laird. But either way, Ford was great. The way that she pitched her 4 shutout innings, the Long Islanders will indoctrinate her as well. 1 walk and 4 strikeouts.
And for Ford, this was a huge momentum and a boost of confidence for her. Somebody who struggled a bit, but everybody knows how talented she is. She's played on multiple professional teams throughout her career in the States and internationally. And this of what we saw her tonight is what you can really expect to see moving forward.
Well, she's behind in the count to Grayson Radcliffe, who singled to center her first time up. Radcliffe, Carmen Greenwood, and Cara Canetto due up for the Florida Vibe. Trailing 4-0. Wave and a miss and a rise. Count is full.
Looking back at Cornell's numbers within the Scenic City Cup, she does a great job at providing a lot of strikeouts. And she had 2 innings pitched, but her only Achilles heel tends to be her walks because she's a bit more of a spinny pitcher.
Yeah, that pitch upstairs. It's now her 5th walk and 2 1/3 inning of work. And so the leadoff hitter is on, and that brings up Carmen Greenwood. 0 for 1 on the day with a sacrifice.
And somebody whose favorite pitch to throw is hands down a rise ball. When you are that type of pitcher and the other team knows that about you, you really have to work hard on shooting your rise ball through the zone, because the second they know it's out of the zone, they're going to stop swinging at it completely.
She swings and misses at the fastball outside, 0-1. Greenwood from Louisville. And Cornell throws her out. And that'll allow Radcliffe to go to second. Well, it hasn't been an issue for the Vibe to get runners in scoring position. It's been getting them home. But now a good bite at the apple as you go to the meat of the order for the Vibe.
And sometimes that just comes down to simplifying the game. You don't need to hit a home run in this situation, but how can you just focus on having a quality at bat and advancing the runner from second to third? When the game feels really hard, just take it one hit at a time and put those small little goals.
And a 1 for 2. She doubled down the left field line in the first inning. Grounded out to Ford in her last time up. Right back to the circle. Well, speed pitch dips low, 2-0.
We haven't seen a ton of off speeds from any of the arms today. They've been sprinkled in at a very purposeful time. And when they're missing, they're all predominantly missing low.
Line foul. 2-1. Cornell just trying to get a strikeout or a ball hit right at somebody here. 2-1. Even a miss. 2-2.
When Cornell goes up, she has very tight spin that is speeding these hitters up. You see a lot of big swings. That's what rise ball pitchers at their very best. They get you to get nice and long and big when you're in the plate.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch right back to the screen. As Canetto just missed it.
And for Cornell, she is climbing the ladder, but how do you do something different here? Either have a different spin on it or change the speed.
2-2 coming. Change up, whacked into right field, a base hit. Rounding third, heading home is Ratcliffe. She will score. McCrae's throw goes into second. It's an RBI single for Cara Canedo. She goes to second. And that makes it 4-1.
McCrae had a bobble in right field that allowed the run to score. At first, the runner had stopped at third base. But after this changeup that was ripped into right field, you see a little bit of a bobble and just misplays in a do-or-die situation. And for an outfielder, you practice that play so many times, and when it happens in that moment, sometimes you can catch yourself thinking about the throw more than just fielding the ball cleanly first.
How about the piece of hitting and pitch identifying by Canedo? Saw it was an off-speed pitch and waited on it, and then served it into right field. So that'll bring up Allie Newland. Newland singled to left her last time up. Tries to go that way and shoots it foul, 0-1.
And what was interesting on that changeup that you talked about how she identified, it was almost came at a different motion. There was more of a flip change, and the more you train your eyes on it, you can tell the difference within the fast of the changeup and allow yourself with that way she throws her changeup to identify it early enough.
Rodney McCrae going to the bullpen, or looking at the bullpen. That seems to be Shanice Delsey as that pitch misses down and in. Count 2-1.
They're keeping it loose and relaxed and fun in the bullpen. It's always when you think the camera's not on you.
Yeah.
It's always.
2-1. 3-1.
Cornell finding herself down in another count. Something that she has struggled with is those walks, being more of that rise ball pitcher. She can find a way to go through the zone is when she'll be at her best.
3-1. Whacked foul. Count remains full.
I like this change from pitchers. You saw Ford working so heavily down in the zone in east to west, and then you bring somebody like Cornell in who's working a lot of rise balls. It's very hard as a hitter to have to adjust quickly.
3-2. Twisted foul again. This is a Vibe team that really hasn't struck out that much. Only 4 strikeouts so far. Put the ball in play. They've been applying the pressure to the Rise's defense as well, but they've stepped up defensively to, at least before this inning, throw up 4 scoreless frames. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch in the air, deep center field. Back goes Honnold, still going back at the wall. It's gone. A 2-run home run for Allie Newland. And here come the Vibe. It's Newland's first home run of the year, and that makes it 4-3.
Newland did a great job spoiling so many pitches until she got the very one she could do damage on. A ball on the outer half of the plate. Doesn't get to a corner, and she takes full advantage. And just like that, the Vibe is back in this game. They make it a 1-run ball game.
You could sense a lot of frustration being released on that home run by the Vibe, who before this inning had left 5 runners on base through 4 innings. And now finally cashing in, trailing by a run. And here's Sierra Frazier, the third baseman, singled to center her last time up. 1 for 2 on the day. Swings through a first pitch rise, 0-1.
It's all about your response, and what a response by Cornell, even on that pitch, coming right back out with the rise ball, trusting her spin. So you have to do as a pitcher. The very best ones have short memory.
1 poke foul. We'll see how much rope that McCrae gives Cornell, especially with number 5 hitter, Michaela Paprata, due up on deck. Changeup just stays alive.
Flip changeups are such a rarity to see the higher up you get in the sport of softball. You don't see a ton of them in college, very few in professional, but sometimes it can work in a pitcher's favor like Cornell, that the hitter is able to see it early, so then they get very big and even more aggressive because they think they can hit it.
Swing and a miss. Got her with the rise. 2 down. First strikeout for Cornell.
And a changeup earlier sets up a rise ball that it has that late break. You go from slowing a hitter down to speeding them up. Great execution and an even better response.
So here's Michaela Paprata. 0 for 1 with a sac bunt, and that pitch misses. 1-0. You could time that pitch with an hourglass.
I mean, talk about a rainbow right there. If I'm Paprota, I am not touching that pitch. Not even trying to do anything with it.
1-0. Fastball, wave and a miss. 1-1.
But while we laugh at the off speed, then she comes back with such an incredible rise ball with good, sharp spin. And so as a hitter, you have to take every pitch by pitch, and clear it. Not allow that changeup to set you up for a rise.
Wind blowing out to left, the 1-1. And that rainbow dips in. 1-2.
If she is able to go back and forth, it's going to be very hard for a hitter to time up those two vastly different speeds.
Think she goes up the elevator shaft here.
Oh, you best believe she will.
1-2. There it is, and Paprata able to lay off.
Everyone in the stands knew what was coming there. But I would have loved if she would have tried to double it up and do 2 in a row.
Already 3 runs home in the inning. 2-2 pitch. It's on the ground to second. Blampede is up with it, and the inning is over. But a 2-run home run by Allie Newland after the RBI single by Cara Caneto makes this a 4-3 game going to the bottom of the 5th on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Packed out crowd here opening night here at Bill Edwards Stadium. The Rise with a 4-3 lead over the Florida Vibe. And don't miss a minute of Rise softball this season. Watch all the games live and get your tickets for all upcoming Rise games at NewYorkRise.com, and also for up-to-the-minute updates. Go behind the scenes with the Rise. Follow the team on Instagram at New York Rise Softball. And we'll be here for the rest of the series. Sydney Supplé, I'm John Perez, and it's been a fun one so far. Florida coming back with 3 runs in the top of the 5th inning, as they were able to scratch some runs against Sarah Cornell. And now the Rise looking for a response. They'll have 2, 3, 4 due up in the order against Alana Vaughter, who begins her 2nd inning of work.
And that's the beauty of this sport, is it's not over until the very last out of the 7th inning. Saw a whole different type of life from the Florida Vibe, who capitalized on those runners who've been in scoring position throughout every single inning.
Laird, the local product from East Meadow, takes outside 1-0. A strikeout and a flyout and 2 ABs. Let's move in there for a strike, 1-1.
The coolest part about being a local product is, we were talking to Sarah Cornell, I couldn't help but think you grew up around these streets and in these neighborhoods, and never did you think when you were a younger player that someday you'd be in your 20s playing professional softball in the very fields that you've driven by throughout your whole life.
And credit to her, too, for seeking out a tryout as well. She could have just gone on with her life, not really worried about it, as Laird up the middle and through for a base hit. There's Jenna Laird. Goes into first with a leadoff single in the 5th.
And the crowd we have here is loving the hometown players. They go strong when it comes to New York.
Speaking of someone who's gone strong, Alex Honnold has been that player. A double and a walk, came around to score twice. Honnold, one of the players to watch so far, and takes outside 1-0.
She's the player to watch because of her power, but look at the diversity in all of these athletes and being able to also run through the box, look to drop down a bunt. They have so many multiple tool lefties.
Bunted, third base side. Frazier's up with it. Rifles to first, not in time. Honnold legs it out for an infield single. And the Rise have the first 2 hitters on, and that'll bring up McKenna Smith.
This will show you the speed of Honnold. Dropping down a bunt, the third base fielded cleanly, made the throw, and she still beat it out.
Frazier, one of the best arms on the infield. But Honnold with the legs, and here's McKenna Smith. And Smith takes high, 1-0. Smith's 2-run home run in the first inning opened up the scoring for the Rise. She walked in the third. 1 for 1 on the day. Count 1-1.
And Smith does most of her damage on pitches up in the zone. You saw that home run swing. How will she do against somebody who's going to go down?
Well, she cranks it to deep center field. Back goes Greenwood. Track wall. She makes the catch. Laird tags. She'll go to third. On a nice play by Carmen Greenwood for a loud out number 1.
An incredible hit, but an even more incredible catch. Saving what could have been a home run. It might have hit the very top of the fence. Does a great job getting it in quickly. Only 1 runner advanced, but at first base, she stays put.
Yeah, that's Honnold over at first. Laird goes to third. And now here's Linny Malkin. Sack flyer last time up. They needed a 4-0 Rise lead.
This is the third time the Rise has been in a first and third situation. Something that doesn't happen very often in games, but has happened for them a lot tonight.
Now we count 2-0 to Malkin. Malkin from Broomfield, Colorado, hitting .308 on the year, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. All-time home run leader at Arkansas with 50 home runs in her career. First team All-SEC. 2022, hits it on the ground to third. Frazier's up with it, goes across the diamond. 2 away.
Frazier does a wonderful job checking all of her points. She fields the ball. You saw her take a peek at second, trying to think about a double play. Didn't have it there. Knew she wanted to go to first, but before she went to first base, looked the runner back at third and fired across the diamond, saving a run from being scored.
Sammy Williams attacks the first pitch, and a dive and a catch. Allie Newland, what a play to retire the side. Newland so cool, she wears her sunglasses at night and makes the play to get the vibe through it.
A top 10 play right there. A ball that was jammed, you thought was going to fall and cause a little bit of havoc, but she does a great job having her pitchers back.
We go to the 6th, 4-3 Rise on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's premier high school sports network. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
A 4-3 lead for the New York Rise over the Florida Vibe as we go to the top of the 6th inning. New York led 4-0 and then 3 runs in the 5th inning against Sarah Cornell. So Rodney McRae goes to his bullpen, and they'll bring on Shanice Delsey, making her 3rd appearance of the year, the Edmond, Oklahoma native.
The Rise is doing a great job at utilizing their big staff that they have. It's very uncomfortable for a hitter to have to face so many different arms who all throw different things. Never an opportunity to get too comfortable.
So Sarah Cornell only went in an inning, gave up 3 runs on 2 hits, a walk and a strikeout. You see the numbers on Delsey, a 1.79 ERA in 3 innings of work. As Madison Kennedy, the number 6 hitter, will lead it off, but not before Smith gets on the same page with Delsey.
When you look at a pitcher like Delsey, who's had very few opportunities so far, it's all about just gaining that confidence and being on the mound with this team, confidence in yourself, but also getting on the same page with your catcher. You're seeing they're looking like they're going to take a few extra steps. They're looking towards the dugout. They might need something different before she takes the mound.
What do you think it is?
Potentially a pitch card. This looks like what it's going to be. It actually looks like tape. Now, when it gets dark at night, it can be very hard for a pitcher to see the fingers of what the sign is going to be. So a great tool that catchers use is putting tape around their fingers, or they have bright colored nail polish. I had a catcher used to paint him hot pink, hot yellow, anything to help their pitcher see at night.
Oh, that's Lisa Anderson, one of the assistant coaches, along with Tony Marie Valerio and Adam Capodieci, rounding out the staff. But yeah, she's going with the tape there, and I get it, it's fashionable, the hot pink, the lime green, I get it, but sometimes you just might not be able to see it at night, and I think that's what Delsey was telling her. So better to nip it in the bud early on and get on the same page. Of course, in softball, we haven't seen the pitch com yet. I'm sure that will come sooner rather than later, but either way, for you as a pitcher, did you have a preference? Did you like the nail polish, or did you want the tape?
Either one works for me, but I think the biggest thing is that making sure that you're on the same page early. I'm glad they're doing this now before Delsey even throws her first pitch, because it's very hard to get out of rhythm then. Might as well, as you said, nip it in the butt before it goes and just move through it together.
So Smith goes back behind the plate, and here's Madison Kennedy 0 for 2 on the day. Jams the first pitch into the ground, 0-1. Madison Kennedy, Katie Kistler, and Alana Vaughter due up for the Florida Vibe in the road half of the 6th inning. Of course, 7 innings in professional softball and just 1 game tonight. I know there's a lot of college fans out there that are expecting the double dip, but that's not the case here, at least between the Vibe and the Rise.
But what a back and forth game we have seen so far today. Is really going to take it into the 7th inning. And what we talked about, it's hard seeing the signs at night. Well, it's also hard seeing the ball at night as well.
Stays up for Laird, 1 away.
You tend to see pitchers have an even greater outing when it's dark at night. I know for myself as a pitcher on the mound, I would feel 100 more times comfortable throwing a Rise ball under the lights, because it's just harder to see.
Well, and some other things, too, that I think the common fan doesn't think of as well, especially when you've got a good atmosphere. You don't really hear the crack of the bat either, so it could be a little bit tougher. Shallow center coming on is Honnold. A dive from Mendez. She can't make the play. Throw to second. In time. Good recovery. Alex Honnold throws out Katie Kistler for an exciting out number 2.
And what an effort by Mendez. But then to be able to have the backup ready to go, a throw on the dime. You see Kistler tries to slide, stop before, and step around it, but the tag was applied. Great job just playing together as a team.
It'll be ruled a single and then an 8-4 putout. As Alana Vaughter takes low, 1-0. Vaughter 0 for 2 on the day with a couple of strikeouts. The count even at 1-1. Even a miss.
One thing you'll notice about Delsey's game is she's very quick to get on that mound. Very few seconds between every single pitch. Works to speed up the hitters.
1-2. Popped up. Let's see if it stays in play. Trierweiler, and it falls in. Trierweiler and Blampede looking at each other, and it drops in between the two of them. It was a long way to run for Blampede, and it didn't look like Trierweiler had the angle.
In that situation, you really want to have your second baseman or right fielder take full responsibility and go all out and making a diving play on that, because your chances of being a first baseman, almost making a full 180 turn and catch it, are very slim.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch popped up, left side. Sammy Williams makes the catch right in front of McKenna Smith. And the side is retired. Well, Delsey faces the minimum. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 4-3 New York Rise on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why bother with the wide angle that shows every player on the field? You just want good video of your son or daughter, and now with Varsity Media's ISO angle, you can get it. Our camera will focus just on your player in the game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. And it makes for a great teaching tool to help them improve during the season. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Bill Edwards Stadium. They're lighting up the night here on opening night here in the 2024 New York Rise season. She's Sydney Suplee. I'm John Perez, and what a night it's been so far. And of course, everybody getting into the action. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Wilson, along with Vincent's Clam Bar, New Balance, Erica Cole Salon and Spa, Northwell Orthopedics, Lululemon, Zuri Limousine and Transportation, as well as Catcher Matrix and Prince Station, New York. Appreciating all the support for pro women's softball in New York. Rise up. Well, Sydney, I know one thing that we were talking about during, before the game was that some of the players had an opportunity to get their hair done and go to have a media day at a hair salon, and pretty cool thing to do there.
That was a big mission of the New York Rise, is to make sure that these athletes felt like they were getting a professional experience. You mentioned the media day makeover, hair salon. I mean, they just felt special and beautiful. And it's great to be able to allow your athletes to feel that. They went to a New York Mets game. They've done so many interactive things. They went to the Hamptons, really embracing the New York City culture around this team. And I cannot commend the Rise enough about the standard that they are setting. Florida Vibe said it best coming in. They said, we are just chasing what New York is building. And that's what these teams have to do around every single one of the softball professional leagues. Chase each other, raise the ceiling, so we can all continue to raise the bar overall for professional softball.
Here's Riley Blampede, 0 for 2 on the day. Came around to score in the second inning. She made it a 3-0 ball game, reaching on the error by Michaela Paparata. Paparata had 2 miscues in that inning. Alana Vaughter paints the outside corner, 2-1. Vaughter's come on in relief, has thrown back-to-back shutout innings. Trying to keep her team in the game. Came in at a 4-0 deficit, now it's 4-3 as Blampede shoots it foul.
What an opportunity for her to come in. As you said, when they were down 4 runs, but now it's within a 1-run ball game. You put her in without even thinking what a crucial situation it would come down to. And when the game's on the line, you want to turn to Vaughter, one of the top 2 pitchers on this staff when you look at all the numbers.
2-2 just outside, 3-2. Payoff pitch. Socked down the right field line, drifting and going foul. Long run for Kistler, couldn't track it down.
And coming into today, Vaughter in her 16 innings pitch, she's gotten the leadoff out 11 times. She's gotten it so far twice today. Can she continue to capitalize on that?
3-2 pitch, outside, ball 4. So an 8-pitch at bat results in a walk, and the Rise had the leadoff hitter aboard for Nicole Mendez.
The Rise has done a great job at doing damage, not only at the heart of their lineup on the topper half, but also within Mendez, your 7, 8, and 9. They're doing a great job of getting runners in scoring position.
And there goes Blampede on the first pitch and swipes second base easily. And comes off the bag and almost gets tagged out by Radcliffe, but it's a stolen base. And the Rise with a runner in scoring position and nobody out.
She tried to show good sportsmanship, but then almost ended out as well.
I'm all for niceties, but
still a game between the lines.
1-0, she's going again. It's bunted right side and foul.
2 steals. Granted, she has to go back, but 2 attempted steals on 2 pitches. That is aggression, that is speed, but it's also her athleticism and being able to do that back-to-back and not needing a second to catch her breath.
Blampede with now 2 stolen bases on the year. We'll see if they put her in motion again. Not going, 2-1.
Mendez so far today, her 2 hit balls have been to the right side of the field. She's going to want to continue that as well and advance the runner to third.
2-1, tag foul, 2-2. Well, looking ahead to the 7th inning, the Vibe will have 9-1-2 due up in the order against presumptively Shanice Delsey, trying to lock down the final 3 outs, but that all-important insurance run now looming at second base in Riley Blampede.
The Rise is well aware of that. If they can add on another insurance run right now, it would be key.
2-2, outside, 3-2.
You can tell Vaughter is trying to feed the left side of the field, working Mendez primarily on the third base side of the plate.
Vaughter gets the sign. Here comes the payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4. And so back-to-back walks to begin the 6th. And so Paparotto will go out to the mound, and that'll bring up Sydney McCray.
So far today, we've seen McCray show a lot of small ball. And I would anticipate she's looking to do the same thing here. Again, putting the ball in play, just trying to advance the runners to then bring up your 1, 2, 3 in the lineup. But it's this bottom of the order for the Rise that continues to turn over the lineup.
McCray pulls back. But you're right, it is bottom third of the lineup. They've produced a run. They're 1 for 7 with a couple of walks in there. And talk about table setting from all parts of the lineup. The bottom portion has lived up to it. Right back to the mound. No play at third as Vaughter goes to first to get McCray. So it wasn't a bunch, but just as good. Blampede to third, Mendez to second. And now the top of the order, Ashley Trierweiler steps up.
I love that heads-up play by Vaughter. She fielded the ball and immediately popped her legs to third base. Frazier, who was crashing on the bunt, wasn't able to get there in time, adjust her feet, but just that fact that her first thought was to get the leadoff out is huge.
Trueweiler 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts today. 2 against Kaylin Arnold, the starter for Florida, and then struck out against Vaughter to end the 4th inning. 0-1, wave and a miss. 0-2. Trying to slap it and go the other way.
These situations, 0-2, how can you shorten up? Just put the ball in play.
0-2, driven to left field. That'll get some runs in. It'll get them all in. It's a 3-run home run for Ashley Trierweiler. And the Rise have opened it up on Trierweiler's 2nd home run of the year. And that makes it 7-3.
On an 0-2 pitch to be able to capitalize it. She shortened up her swing and hit it deep into left field. Didn't try to do too much, just got on time to the barrel, and with the speed coming off the mound, it doesn't take much to send that ball flying.
Well, there's the insurance that the Rise were looking for. Still only 1 out in the inning, and Jenna Laird takes the first pitch. Fastball downstairs, 1-0.
The crowd is loving it. If you look on the Rise side, almost everybody is up on the fence taking pictures of these players. I think softball in New York is already becoming pretty much a fan favorite.
Well, and especially with Laird at the plate, too, the local hero. And there you see the perhaps future Rise players rooting on one of their own, Jenna Laird, out of East Meadow. Cute foul down the left field line. McCray has to matrix out of the way.
Well, there is still a lot of game left to play. The game's never over until it's over. What a magical night it has been. Day 1 here at Hofstra with the Rise. You can tell it has the support of the community behind it, which is most important.
2-1 pitch. It's served into right field, and from a knee is Kistler, 2 away. Well, Laird hit it hard, but it stood up for Kistler. And that'll bring up Alex Arnold.
When Vaughter came in after Arnold, it was taking these Rise players a bit of time to catch up to her speed difference. But now you are seeing every single player look extremely comfortable in this speed and handling it well.
Arnold 2 for 3 on the day with a double and an infield single. Came around to score twice, once in the 1st and the 3rd inning. Pitch misses, 2-0.
Vaughter, with how many line drives have been hit off of her, is trying to work into more off-speed pitches. However, an over-adjusting is missing a bit low.
Well, McKenna Smith, who also has a home run in this game, would be next. 3-0, taking all the way, and that pitch right down the middle, 3-1. That's low, ball 4. So Vaughter, who had good control coming into the inning, now serves her 3rd walk of the frame.
It's very easy after you have a few balls that are hit hard off of you. Think you have to reinvent yourself as a pitcher when you never do. Vaughter has talented stuff. It's really just ensuring that you are hitting the lanes of the plate, not allowing your ball to leak over the heart of it, which is where she was getting beat. The speed was there, the spin was there. When she gets that location is when she's starting to see the success she saw from Rise early on.
Smith attacks the first pitch and flares it foul down the right field line. A loud strike 1. Smith, a 2-run home run in the 1st inning, got the party started. A walk and a fly out. 1 for 2 officially. Pitch low, runner goes, throw down to second, not in time. Another stolen base. Honnold gets it. this time.
For the Rise, who came in today with 9 stolen bases, now well into double digits. They added 3, and they're showing off their speed early against the Florida Vibe, who is going to have that in the back of their mind throughout the rest of the series.
Pitch down and in. And was it a matter of the Rise always had this talent? Is it something that you're seeing with the pitchers that they're getting good jumps? What's your diagnosis?
They've always had the speed within their lineup. Now I think they're starting to utilize it more, and that could come down to having a team meeting, talking from player to coach, saying, we have speed in our team, let's use it more. And what I really have enjoyed from them today is how much they are sending their players in motion when a ball is put in play.
Right through the box, and that's it for a base hit. Honnold rounds third. Here comes a throw to the plate, not in time. No throw to second. It's an RBI single for McKenna Smith. She's driven in 3. It's an 8-3 lead for the Rise in the 6th.
Another quality at bat up the middle, and Mick Ray at third base, he was sending her the entire way. It ended up being a bang-bang play, but with the speed, she doesn't even need to slide, and this will lead to a pitching change for the Florida Vibe.
Yeah, Elizabeth Hightower, the new pitcher for the Vibe. We'll step aside and introduce Hightower when we come back on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why bother with the wide angle that shows every player on the field? You just want good video of your son or daughter, and now with Varsity Media's ISO angle, you can get it. Our camera will focus just on your player in the game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. And it makes for a great teaching tool to help them improve during the season. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.
New pitcher is Elizabeth Hightower, who comes in and throws a first pitch strike to Linny Malkin. Hightower out of Monticello, Florida, former Florida Gator. Going to get the last out of the inning. As Kayla Wendell, University of Illinois Chicago, is the pinch runner at second base for McKenna Smith. Swing and a miss. Down goes Malkin, smothered by Paprada, completes the strikeout, and the inning is over. But the Rise at 4 runs in the 6th to take an 8-3 lead, going to the 7th and looking for their first home win in franchise history when we come back on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050.
All right, welcome you back to Bill Edwards Stadium, and Rodney McRae has to be happy with what he's been seeing out of his offense, particularly in the last inning, scoring 4 runs in the 6th to make a 4-3 game into an 8-3 lead, and now 3 outs away from picking up the first home victory in franchise history.
I cannot think of anyone more passionate in his team than Coach McRae. They need a cam on him when he's at third base coaching, because I have seen him running with half the players as they're rounding the base, willing them to get home. The perfect person to have leading this team.
He's been a lot of fun to watch. Caught up with them quickly before the game, and someone who is very locked into a schedule, very regiment-driven, and good to see. And now Shanice Delsey looking for the final 3 outs of the ball game. She'll deal to Grayson Radcliffe, Carmen Greenwood, and Cara Canetto. 9-1-2 due up for the Vibe. And the first pitch below the knees, 1-0.
If you're the Vibe, it can feel so draining to have to go after you just gave up a 4 spot in the bottom of the 6th, but it's really just passing the bat. Nobody is going to hit a home run right now that's going to tie the game, but can you draw a walk? Can you draw a base hit? And before you know it, you could put yourself back into this ball game like they did in the top of the 5th.
Pitch heaved in for a strike to Radcliffe. 1 for 1 on the day with a walk, and came around to score in the 5th. An RBI single and a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. Responsible for all 3 Vibe runs. Count even at 2-2. Two coming. Popped up right towards us. Didn't quite get into the press box like earlier.
You're ready to redeem yourself and snag it. We've seen a lot of those foul balls today because the pitchers are throwing so heavy on the inner half of the plate. It's getting in on the players' hands.
That's low, and the count's full. Three-two. On the ground to third, backhanded by Williams, slings it across the diamond, 1 away. Nifty play by Sammy Williams on the backhand for the first out of the 7th.
The wows I heard in the crowd when she did it effortlessly, going to her backhand. She snags it. What looks like it could have been foul, keeps it fair and fires it across the diamond. And this crowd is staying in the stands. Nobody is leaving as they feel themselves be 2 outs away. What you said would be the first one in program and franchise history.
And of course, there's free autographs after the game.
Yeah,
too.
why not? We might have to go through the line.
Well, no one's stopping me. When they look at your resume, you might get stopped on the way to the parking lot for some free autographs. Here's Carmen Greenwood. 2 sacrifice bunts, officially 0 for 1 on the day. Rolled on the ground. Nice diving stop by Blampede. Fires to first in time. The Rise flashing the leather in the 7th, and they're an out away from the victory.
Defense will win you ball games when you're willing to spread your body on the line, get up to your feet and make this play. This is what made the Rise so dominant so far in their early start to building this franchise.
Cara Canetto, a couple of hits on the day, and waves and fouls off the first pitch. Rise 0-1.
And as a pitcher, if I'm Delsey, I am fired up with my defense making these plays behind me. They're laying it all out for me, so I'm going to lay it all out for them.
Canetto, an RBI single her last time up. And the pitch low, 1-1. It's outside. 2-1. Jalen Ford started off this game through 4 shutout innings, allowed 4 hits on a walk, 4 strikeouts. Sarah Cornell gave up 3 runs in her inning of work. And now Shanice Delsey 1 out away. Here's a 2-1. Hit on the ground to second, backhanded by Blampede, fires to first, and the ball game is over. The New York Rise pick up their first home victory in franchise history, an 8-3 win over the Florida Vibe. Pitching, defense, hitting, it was all on display as the Rise pick up win number 1 at Bill Edwards Stadium.
Put it in the history books. It started with their offense, putting so much pressure on them in the first 3 innings, and then they came through in a huge way, putting up a 4 spot in the 6th, but then the arms of a complete pitching staff, throwing 3 different athletes on the mound, for the Florida Vibe. They were never able to get quite comfortable enough.
Yeah, well, what a good victory for the Rise. They take the first game of the series, first of 3, of course, as well. And we mentioned, of course, earlier, led by their catcher, McKenna Smith. She had a couple of hits, the big blow in the first inning, and then the RBI single in the 6th. And we see in a good sportsmanship at the circle as well. And that's one of the things, too. Obviously, you talk about the competition, but it seems like there's a tight-knit vibe when it comes to all of these programs in the league as well. And, of course, the two-team prayer.
This is a tradition you started to see take place on the college scene. Oklahoma softball spearheading it, and now it's carrying its way over to pro softball. We've been talking about the game a ton. We cannot take away from this historic moment that's happening in front of our eyes here in New York. All of the people who made it possible on this field, off this field, what they are building with New York Rise softball is something that will hopefully be around for years, and they're building themselves up to create something special.
Well, this night will always be special. The first home victory in New York Rise history. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll speak to our player of the game on the post-game show here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why bother with the wide angle that shows every player on the field? You just want good video of your son or daughter, and now with Varsity Media's ISO angle, you can get it. Our camera will focus just on your player in the game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. And it makes for a great teaching tool to help them improve during the season. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Varsity Media offers live streaming services for any sport. With human beings behind the camera, you can expect the proper coverage angles during each game. We offer customizable options such as live scoreboard, multiple cameras, instant replay, graphics, and even announcers. Find out how you can save $100 off a live stream package with Varsity Media by calling 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050. We welcome you back to Bill Edwards Stadium here at Hofstra University. Game number 1, home game number 1, and victory number 1 is in the books, and we're joined by our player of the game, McKenna Smith. McKenna, congratulations. We'll ask you about the game in a second, but the atmosphere, playing in the first home game in Rise history, what was that feeling like?
It was awesome. I mean, I think it was the 5th inning that, everybody was screaming loud. That's the loudest I've ever been, even in college. College was pretty crazy. You know, it got loud at a few stadiums. Of course, like Oklahoma was really loud. But, I mean, this was different. This was awesome. I know it's really good feeling because it knows, we know the game's growing. I mean, we had a bunch of people out here that truly were cheering. They weren't just there to, watch a game and, leave early. They were there because they were entertained. That's our job. And we feel completely grateful to have the fans out here as loud as they were, and it was everybody. I mean, we saw them in the outfield. We saw them. I had them right behind the plate. They were in my ear, and I loved it the whole game. And I think all of us were really, really happy about getting a crowd here and performing for them.
It was almost like you fed off the crowd throughout the entire game, specifically in your at-bats. I want you to break them down for me because you were so comfortable in huge pressure situations. You came through clutch for your team.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with, my teammates, we talk about a plan before. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without them. We keep it real loose in the dugout. It's not tense. It's not, it's not something that we're kind of all worried about and stressed out about. Even when we, it was 4-3, we weren't stressed out like, oh my gosh, we're one win away. We're one, in a one ball game, it was more like, we get to do this, we get to perform, and we're in the dugout chopping it up, in between innings and in between pitches, and it makes me feel comfortable up there because I'm not worried about, I have to get a hit. It's more like I get to be here, I get to perform in front of these fans, I get to have a great team. I mean, I can't say enough about how great this team is, top to bottom. We have great players, great staff. We have a great, I don't know if you guys know the owner, Jeff, but he is awesome, and he is really doing what it takes to make us happy, and we are going to do anything to make him happy. And I hope that showed tonight, but at the same time, when you see us, I hope that you see that we're here to win and we're here to compete, but we're also here to give a show, and we're here to be as relaxed as possible because of our environment that we create in the dugout and on the field. It's not tense. It's not like we have to do anything. It's like we get to be here. We are so grateful. We are so thankful to be here and to play for each other. I mean, we love every single one of each other on the field, and I think we want to do whatever we can for our teammates. So I think that's in all of my at-bats. That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's not really like, I have to get a hit or I have to, get a base hit, score the runner, because I know that the people in front of me and the people behind me are going to do their job. Just like Ashley hit a 3-run home run. I mean, everybody can do that on our team. It's not just me. It's not just Ashley. It's top to bottom, 1 to 9. Everybody has the capability to do that, and I think that's what makes us special. And there's nobody here that thinks they're the top dog. We all are here to make each other better and to have fun and to grow the game. That's what we want. We want a situation where these young girls can come out here and be like, I want to do that, and I want to make something where that's permanent. It's not something that's really unsteady. So I think we've got an awesome group of girls, awesome coaching staff, awesome up ahead. Our leadership in behind the scenes in the clubhouse, they're awesome. Top to bottom, everything is we do it for each other for sure.
Well, McKenna, before we let you go, there were a lot of fans here today, but there were some that were not here, whether they're watching at home, but definitely in the New York metropolitan area. Your message for them to come out for Game 2 and the rest of the homestands?
Yeah, I'm going to speak right here because I know y'all watching. We love you guys, and we want to see you guys out here, but I can promise you that we will give you a show every time. I'm not promising a undefeated season, but what I am promising you is that the plays that we made today and the hits that we got today are just the beginning. You're going to see better plays. You're going to see better hits. You're going to see better team camaraderie, and we're just a fun group to watch, and we want to see you out here. We get so juiced to see you guys in the stands. We love the support, and we want to keep it coming. But me as a player and us as players, we are here for you, and we are here to put on a show for you, and we don't want to grow the game for you, and we are so thankful for you guys. And you guys better come out to a game because you guys are going to be on your feet the entire time. You're going to lose your voice like me. I want to see you guys here. Let's go.
And, of course, you're guaranteeing a 2-run home run every first inning, too.
Let's go. Come on.
Let's
go. Let's go. That's a deal. You caught me on camera live. Let's go.
All right. Well, that's McKenna Smith, and that'll do it for our entire crew. It was a privilege to call the first home game here in New York Rise history. And that'll do it for our entire crew, led by executive producer Ben Turchin, technical directors Chris Sweeney, for Mike Verdi and Kevin Catalanato giving you the moving images. For my partner, Sydney Suplee, this is John Perez signing off. It's been a presentation of AFP Softball
on your home for all New York sports, the Varsity Media Sports Network.